Here I'm going to showcase a couple of building techniques. So the first one I want to show you is how to win any 1v1. So usually when you're in a 1v1 scenario, you have this little setup right here, and then you have a wall, and then someone edit it just like this. So like what you want to do is, so like whether you grab the edit, you know, obviously, you know, before, you know, you come to a mutual agreement that, you know, no one's going to boo, so you're just sitting here like this, and then so usually it goes one out, and then what I like to do is spider 90 like this, and then so if they cone you like this, all you have to do really is jump around, place that, and then if you want to, you get like 90, 180, whatever. Like, it's easy stuff. So if you have someone above you, say like right here, and like you're kind of like, here, let me just set up, and you're just like kind of like down here in that scenario, and you're just like boxing, you have yourself boxing and everything, whatever. What you usually like to do, or what I usually like to do, is edit out the side like this, and then just ramp up like this, place a pyramid like this, and then swoop back around, reset it, make a ramp, jump up, and then like this. So it kind of looks like something like this. It's like boom, 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 boom. Wait, kind of choked that there. But you kind of get the gist. It's kind of easy stuff. A lot of people don't expect it. Just something like you'd have to practice, whatever. But to jump around, boom, 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 easy stuff. You got to practice those turnarounds. Really easy once you get used to it. Once you practice it a lot, it becomes second nature. So another thing I'm going to showcase is how I do my 90s, which a lot of people do it differently, by the way. Everyone doesn't do their 90s the same way, for sure. So how I do my 90s is, hold on, let me just break all this. You know, I'm just going to do it right. Okay, that's it. Alright, so how I do my 90s. So what I like to do, obviously I just forward, freaking ramp, wall. So like either when I'm spidering, I turn to my right like this, and I go like this, and I kind of like flick it. So it's like you just like right flick like this, jump. So it's like, here, I'll just do it really slow for you real quick. And then I turn around, like I flick my right stick, kind of like this. It's really easy stuff. So if I'm doing the more protected 90s where you have like all these walls, so like what I would do is I would go up like this. So it'd be almost like a circular motion, kind of like a very skewed circle cylinder. So it's, oh, what? If this will load, that'd be great. Gee, no. Starting bad game. Alright, wow, this is lagging. Okay, sweet. So I'm just gonna go back down to the sandbar. So again, so we covered the turnarounds where someone like pyramids you and freaking walls you off and everything, and we also covered like basically how I do my 90s, really easy stuff. So it's like redeploy. GG, man. Let me just start the game. Oh, redeploy. Okay, redeploy's on, whatever. But whenever how to do my 90s, whatever, really easy stuff. So it's like spider 90s like this. I flick my right stick and just kind of just look. So it's like, and then so when I get done flicking like that, I kind of look to my left a little bit, because like it's all about like, it's like where you look is basically where you'll land essentially. So if I'm like looking like this and then I look back like that, it kind of prevents me from like falling off the side, because a lot of people when they do spider 90s like that, they end up like falling off the ramp like this and they're like, oh no. So basically I like to look down sort of when I'm doing my spider 90s like this. So that kind of prevents me from like falling off the build and everything. So a lot of people really can't do spider 90s, which, I mean, when you practice it, it really gets you better at it. I mean, I've watched tutorials on how to do spider 90s like this, but I really didn't get good at it, and I really didn't get it until I tried it and like saw what worked for me. So there's that. Also, another thing, this has to do with like owning the same. So when, okay, if this will load. Okay, so when, let's say you're in a 1-by-1 like this, right? And what a lot of people like to do, okay, so if I'm getting like shot at from here, like people just freeze, man. Like people just like freeze and whatnot. So if someone is like on the other side and they're freaking just sitting there like spraying you down, what a lot of people do is they literally just sit here, build, and expect freaking like the dumbest thing. So basically what you have to ask yourself inside your mind, like, what's your end game? Are you literally just gonna sit here and spam turbo build, or are you gonna like edit up the top and then just pump them or something? Like it's like you got to think outside the box in these situations. So like another popular strategy, so if someone's like, let's just say someone's trying to like wall replace, which basically like there's like get my wall wide open like this, and there's no wall right there, and they just like continually try to spray me. What I like to do is time between them, or between them breaking my wall and them either replacing it or shooting me, or there being no wall there. I like to pump them as soon as the wall breaks. That's a very popular strategy. I mean, especially if you have below like 30 ping, definitely doable. So if someone's breaking your wall, try to time it. Try to like practice that. Which a good way to practice is get your friend, you know, in a freaking creative server and just have them spray you and just time the time it takes for them to break your wall and them to either replace it or shoot it down. Pumping is a definitely good thing, especially when you're in a wall and it's like kind of still being built like this. You could pre-aim. So like if they're just sitting there spraying you, they're not moving, making random movements, their head's like right there. You just pull your pump out and wait for them to shoot you down, and then just pump them straight to their freaking face. Easy class. So like that's 1-by-1 pressure. I mean, so like say, you know, you're in the situation, you're spamming your ramp in your wall. An easy thing to do, let's see if you're elevated and you're not on the ground. If you're elevated, kind of like I am right now, it's like easy stuff. You just want to edit down like that, and then you're kind of like home free. And or so like if you're in a 1-by-1 and then someone's spraying you on the second level like this, and you're like spamming your turbo build and they're just spraying at you. What, like a good thing to do is you can reverse your ramp like this, right? And then so by this time they might have your wall broken already, but it'll offer that extra layer of protection right in front of you for you to have enough time to edit down, look up, edit up, and then you could like edit down like this and then edit out, basically. So I mean that's 1-by-1 pressure. A lot of people when they're turtling, they spam turbo build, but you know, you really got to ask yourself, like, what's your end game? Like, what are you going to do? Because you really, in all actuality, you can't just sit there and wait until they run out of ammo or until they get bored and just sit there. Also, another thing is a decent way to regain high ground, I guess. A decent way to, like, just, so, like, say someone's, like, up here, right? And then you're, like, so, like, let me just get over here. So they're up there and they're just spraying you. They're just like unrelentlessly freaking spraying you, right? So like if I'm in this situation, you know, I'd kind of like to push up, you know, make sure that, you know, they're not like doing anything. So like a good way to kind of like counter spams, like you're in a public match and he's just like sitting there spamming you and everything. If you have not yet learned this, it's just wall 4 ramp. It's pretty easy stuff. Like once you get up like that, it offers a decent layer of protection. And also, another thing you want to practice is, like, taking shots in between you building different levels of high ground, basically. So, like, if he's, like, sitting there spamming me, he's just expecting me to build, right? But if you pop up and you just laser him with your AR, like, he's not going to expect that. He's just going to expect for you just to push high ground and everything. So that's a good practice. That's a good way to go about a situation, is just to, like, make your builds and movements random. Just like think outside the box. Like what is he going to expect? Because a lot of people wouldn't expect you to just like take shots at him while you're building up. So that's a very good way to retake high ground and or like get shots off on your opponent. You just take shots while you're pushing high ground, and then he's not gonna want to like, because like what a lot of people like to do is like if they're sitting there like, you know, they think they have height, you know, they think they're gonna win this fight. So if you kind of like scare them and take shots at them, even if you don't hit them at all, like that's gonna show them that like you're a decent player, and that's gonna show them that the only thing, like that's not the only thing you know how to do is just build, right? So take shots at them, you know, like a couple levels or maybe every other level while you're trying to retake height. And so say if someone, you know, has like a minigun, that's one thing. So if you're playing solos, you know, like someone has a minigun, I mean, a good thing to do now that it has a cooldown, it's just like you got to time it. So if you're in a 1-by-1, yada, 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 you know, they're sitting outside minigunning, whatever, thinking, you know, they're going to win this fight. You know, they're just the best player in the game in their head. The good thing to do is like, so if I'm sitting here, right, let's just say I have no RAM or whatever, and like he's sitting there, like, and you're just spamming your turbo build. Good thing to do is when it's cooling down, when his minigun's cooling down, you want to like hear, you want to hear it. You're gonna hear it when it starts to cool down. So good thing to do, you know, you practice your edits, obviously your wall edits and everything. It'll just make you a better player overall. It's like he's sitting there, you know, waiting for it to cool down. You know, you edit out, you know, you take a quick pump shot, yada yada yada. So like usually when people hone miniguns like that, in my experience, they're not the best players. Just in my opinion. So like a good thing to do, edit out, you know, pump them, edit back, or you just like just make everything random basically. So his thing's cooling down. I take a pump shot at him. I either miss, whatever, but that's gonna show him that like that's not the only thing I know how to do is spam turbo build. So like when you show people in a fight that you know how to edit and everything, like that's gonna make them play more precautiously or cautiously. So you know you edit out, boom, take a pump shot to him, you step back, and like either he's gonna keep on spamming that minigun or he's gonna try to build, or honestly it's gonna show your opponent that you're a decent player, and they're not gonna spam the minigun pretty much. So that's just from my experience. When I edit out, I take a shot at somebody, their minigun's cooling down, and I hit them, that's gonna like, they're gonna get scared basically. So it's gonna turn the situation around. Like that's gonna turn the situation around from you being nervous to them being nervous. So yeah, that's a good thing. Just practice your edits. Like I said, it'll make you a better player. So you're sitting here spamming your turbo, and you know they take a break. That gives you time to ramp up. Let me just delete that or just edit up and then just like take shots at them basically. So just make your movements random. Practice when to like take shots and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the whole 1-by-1 pressure scenario. You just want to like get decent at editing. Like they're spamming you right here. You know, you can edit out the back, double ramp, 180, whatever, and take shots. Just like learn how to make everything look random. You don't want to like have a pattern to where your opponents like know what you're gonna do. You want your opponents to keep on guessing what you're gonna do next. And also a good thing to do is like practice your accuracy. It's just like literally look up freaking aim trainers. There's a lot of decent aim trainers out there to like practice your accuracy and everything, like shotgun aim, AR aim. If you want to, you can look up Selage's aim facility on YouTube, and it'll give you a code and everything, which I usually like to run through that course before I start playing because it really warms up your accuracy, everything. And good accuracy also makes you a very decent player. So if you know you have really good shotgun aim especially, you're going to find yourself winning a lot of more fights. And also, another good tip is when you are, let's say, like, you're in a build battle, and, like, you lose height, right? And in most cases, when I'm in a solo match, duos, squads, whatever, mostly, like, solos, because a lot of the people that I play with like to push height even though they lose high ground. So if you lose high ground, right, and he's, like, up here, and he's, like, trying to spray you while you're trying to retake high ground, believe it or not, you don't have to keep on pushing for high ground. You do not have to like keep on like trying to get height. Just because someone has height doesn't mean they win the fight. The only reason why when people have height and they win most battles is because most people think that they keep on having to retake high ground. So like if you're in this situation, right, and he's up there spraying you, and you're only like 2 levels like this, and you're just like trying to cover yourself from being sprayed, and you're just spamming your turbo, and he's up there just lasering you, right? You don't have to sit there and just keep on trying to retake high ground. That's freaking pointless crap, man. So a good thing to do is just learn how to like turtle, man. Basically, just like, oh yeah, like I'm sitting here. All right, so I'm in a turtle now. So that's a good way to turn around a fight is to basically just jump down, retreat from the fight. Just learn like, learn when to retreat from fights and learn when to back down, because you don't always have to keep on pushing for height. So, good thing to do is drop down. Like I said, get decent at your edits, because he can, like, drop down and he can just try to, like, wall replace and just, like, edit out, take a couple shots, man. Because when you're in a 1x1, you're in complete control of everything that goes on around you. If you have control of all of your walls, like, it's just, the possibilities are endless. So, if he's just sitting there, so imagine he drops down, he's trying to wall replace, he's getting very upset with you, basically, and he's, like, getting really tired of you just, like, sitting here turtling. Just, like, edit out the back, freaking, but yeah, just because you lose high ground doesn't mean you have to keep on pushing. So the only time I keep on pushing for high ground is if I'm 1v1ing, and 1v1s really don't matter to a hill of beans. So just, like, learn how to turtle decently and efficiently, especially in scrims, right? Because, like, you want to learn how to, like, do stuff like this, like, do all this really fast, like, edit out, like, learn how to do this. This really has nothing to do with, like, anything, unless, like, you're in in-game scenarios and, like, you're trying to, like, turtle and, like, win the game or whatever. But yeah, I mean, practice that. I mean, that has, like, some type of relevancy to public matches, but it really doesn't. Also, in public matches, a good another tip is that you shouldn't 1x1, like, unless the circle is really small. So, like, say if, like, it's, like, the 4th final circle, right? You don't want to just, like, sit here and, like, act like you're freaking TSM Myth or something and just, like, 1x1 up. Like, honestly, in most games, I don't find myself 1v1ing because I'm an aggressive player. And also, that's another thing, is that in order to get better at this game, you want to take more fights. If you think they're better than you at this game, it really doesn't matter. You just want to learn, like, how to be an aggressive player. Because if you're more aggressive and, like, you land tilted, retail, or salty, or pleasant most games, and, like, you consistently land at, like, busier areas, that's going to make you a better player because you're taking more fights. So the more fights you take, the better you're going to be at the game. Just basically, you get more engagements, you learn more stuff. So there's that. And also, like, so if you're just screwing around, another thing, if you're in, like, creative or whatever, and you're in Playground, you want to practice your edits, usually you can just look up an edit course, but if you're just, like, trying to do it really quickly, whatever, you know, you place, like, some floors, and just, like, some floors and some walls like this, just, like, okay, I'm not on a flat surface. Anyways, but, yeah, just, like, I would say the most important edit is your wall edits. Like, you want to get good at, like, wall editing, basically. Like, I'm botting out right now, by the way. But, yeah, just get good at your freaking wall edits, your corner edits, this edit, this one. Okay, so when you're wall replacing and you have that wall, right, a good edit to do to, like, kind of surprise them is this edit right here. So, like, learn to get good at this edit as well. This is a very important edit. So as far as the stair, this edit right here, I would say these edits are really not that important at all, because, look, if you're not the one to build, like, 1x1s, and if you're in a build fight, like, you see, like, Mongrel and everything, like, pounding these out, like, really fast. Like, these edits really aren't important. It's more or less for show. But, I mean, yeah, it does get you good at, like, those edits and everything like that. But I really don't find myself, like, editing down like this for too long. So if it's just, like, you know, you're just, like, boxed up and you're in a fight, whatever, like, yeah, I mean, it's good to, like, learn how to do this and, like, go down fast. But those edits really are important. The most important edit in the game is probably your wall edits. Pyramid edits, yeah, it's whatever, like, the double edits where you're editing pyramid and a freaking flat. Those are kind of important, but the most important edit in the game is your wall edits. You need to learn how to get good at wall edits, because someone's in front of your wall and they're just spraying you. You know, you just got to get good at those edits, basically, and that'll make you a better player, I promise. You just want to make your edits random and everything. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for the whole thing. I mean, there's like more you can learn, but I would say most of the stuff that I've learned in this game is just stuff I had to learn on my own. But as far as that, like, a good way, I mean, my favorite way to retake height, I think I've already went over this, is that, like, my favorite way is to, like, so I'm sitting here in a 1x1, whatever, and he has height on me. I mean, in most scenarios, if I'm weak, or, you know, I really don't feel like playing the whole retake high ground scenario, like I said, I'll drop down, and I'll, like, 1x1 and wait for him to come to me, and then I'll take shots at him with my edits, and whatnot. But I usually just edit a little corner piece like this, double ramp out for 2. You could place a pyramid like that, and then, okay, so one thing I like to do is to kind of protect myself when I'm like 90ing up or whatever. So let's go through this again. So I'll edit the pyramid, and like one of my favorites is to like do this, but I mean that's more or less of like a flashy thing that I do in creative. But here, let's get back down here and let's break that, and let's break this. But a good thing that I like to do is just I like to edit this right here, place another ramp like this, and then I like to jump up, place that, and then place a stair above there, right? And then I'll like to 90 or whatever, and like go up like that. So it basically looks like this. You place a pyramid, right? Here, let's just put that there, and then you do this. And then a good thing I like to do is do this, like that, and then I like to do my 90s, because that protects me from them shooting at me while I 90, basically. So, I mean, that's more, I guess that's a good way to, or a good thing to practice, I mean, in 1v1s, creative, public matches. So, like, you 90 up, okay, it's lagging, you 90 up, and, like, he still has height, and you're just, like, sitting there, like, oh, no, what do I do? And then, so, you'd, like, go out the side like this, and then place that, that, and that. So, or if you find yourself in that situation where you mess up like I just did, hold on. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for all those tips and scenarios. Hello? As far as all of that goes, if you mess up like that, you know, you could easily just do this and just, like, go up like that. So, the double freaking ramp is a good way to retake height. And then, like, you might find yourself, you know, busting out a couple 90s to retake high ground. Or doing this, your turnarounds and everything. This is a very important thing to learn as well. I've already showcased this. Just the whole turnaround thing, you know, you do turn around like that, you know, bust a couple 90s out, whatever. 1v1 pressures, I'm just going through what I've already said. You know, you double ramp out like this, place a pyramid. I'm better at it when I do it faster, but I'm trying to do it slower for the stream. So like I do that, and then I'd do my 90s basically, and then I would, yeah, almost retake height, because that also confuses people. So like you're in a situation, you do this, and then you do that, and then you do one of these things. That confuses people, because they're going to think that you're going to be at the top of that trying to, like, shoot at them or whatever, but in all actuality, you're 90ing up, and then you're a level above the ramp that you place. So that's a very good tip as well. Learn to do this. Everybody knows how to do this. 4-wall ramp. Easy stuff. I mean, you know, there's these, like, very flexy type of builds that you can do. Like, here, let's... This, hold on, this right here, I never find myself using this. And, like, you know how when people, like, do this, the whole double 4-wall ramp, you're really never going to need to use that in the game. That's just a waste of materials, and especially the material cap that we have now, no one's really going to use that. No one's really going to use this wall ramp. It's more or less of a thing to flex. I mean, I really haven't took the time to practice and learn it, because I really don't need to. I mean, this one, maybe if you're, like, really kind of pressured or whatever. I mean, this is sort of useful to learn, but this one's really easy. You know, you just spam LT and right trigger, and it's just... I mean, you really don't need to learn that, but learn 4-wall ramp if you haven't already. There's a setting you could use, Builder Pro Build Immediately. That makes it a whole lot easier to do. But that pretty much covers, like, turtling, pressured scenarios, 90s, how to retake high ground. I mean, there's a decent amount of ways, and a lot of the, like, so you see, like, a lot of Chronic members, Ghost members, like, doing this to retake height. So they would, like, edit this, right? And then they would, like, edit that, and then they would, like, go like this or something like that. Hold on, let me see if I could actually do this real quick. See, because I don't really find myself practicing this either, because, I mean, in my honest opinion, I win most of my 1v1s. It's just, like, some of these things that people do, it's more or less for flash, but, like, say if you're like this, right, and then you're like that, you could, like, easily go like this. Like, I've seen this showcased by a decent amount of people, but honestly, One of the things that are going to make you really great at this game is your accuracy. I mean, your building can be mediocre and your editing can be really good. And your accuracy can be really good. It really all just depends on like the people that you face. But a lot of these things that people showcase really has like no game use whatsoever. A good example is High Distortion. Like he's a pretty decent builder, but one of the things that makes him really good at this game is his accuracy and his game sense. Game sense holds a lot more value than, you know, being able to do flashy 90s like this and then crazy turnarounds and crazy edits. But game sense is a whole different topic for another stream. But yeah, I basically already showcased like my favorite ways to retake high ground. You know, this whole ordeal, like, oh no, he cones you, you know, you just turn around like that, whatever. Or like he's sitting up here and then you're like sitting all the way down here. And he won't jump down because the only thing he knows how to do is freaking build. Like I said, edit that corner piece, double ramp, edit this. That kind of offers some protection while you're going up. And then you could either 180, and then what I like to do, maybe 180, 90, pyramid myself, and then jump around like that. Or another thing I like to do is like to jump up like this, do this, like that, edit this, and then do a couple 90s to retake height. So let me just do that again. So I'm just doing this, doing that, and then I turn around like this, and then I look forward this way, and then I double ramp out like that, pyramid, edit, and then do a couple 90s. Spider 90s, I mean, honestly, really have like no freaking, like, it just has no value to an actual game because Spider 90s, 90s in general, I mean, really, I really don't find myself doing too many 90s during a game anyways. But Spider 90s, I mean, it's more or less of a thing to flex. I mean, yeah, you're good at Spider 90s, whatever. But these type of 90s are the ones that are kind of useful because, like, it offers more protection and everything. I mean, when you do 180s, like, this used to be the meta back in, like, Season freaking 3, early Season 4. But, I mean, that's when everybody really started to learn how to do 90s and everything, but whatever. But, yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do to take height. Cone myself, do this. Oh crap, I fell. Look at that, I'm a bot. But cone myself, do this, and then look that way, and then place a pyramid, and then bust out a couple 90s, maybe double 90, triple 90. Yeah, but 90 is a good way to retake height, whatever. But essentially that's it for my ways that I like to retake high ground. I know there's like more fancier ways, easier ways, better ways to retake height, but my success rate for the things that I've shown in this video, I mean, are pretty good. But basically, to recap what I said, learn to take shots when you're building up. Just practice your AR accuracy because, you know, you're sitting down here, you know, you could open up a pyramid and just start lasering him, then place that, and then you could, like, push for height again, whatever. But yeah, these are, I guess, some decent ways to retake height, you know. Place that, boom, bam. You can either go back up like this if he cones you, yada, yada, yada. But even when someone doesn't cone me, I like to cone myself just for the extra protection. And 1x1s, or, I mean, 1v1s or actual game scenarios, I like to cone myself like that just to offer some protection. Because if you're like that and he's sitting, like, over there in that direction, and you go out like this and do that, like, that's, like, you basically just want to make yourself... You don't want to reveal yourself. You don't want to, like, make yourself a target, basically. So the more you're covered up, the better off you're going to be in a 1v1 or even in a public match. So you want to be covered up, like, at most times. You just basically want to make yourself a hard target to hit. So that's what I like to do in either 1v1s or actual public matches, is to just, let me showcase this again. Do this, place that, and then double ramp. And then, like, either, because, let's see, on, oh, well, but that's basically the ways I usually retake height. Yeah, I know there's more fancier techniques out there, and if you find yourself not retaking height at all, and they're just, like, a better builder than you, what I would suggest is literally turtle, because when you're turtling, you're in control, and you're basically not playing that whole building game. Don't be afraid to back down from a fight. If you have a Rip to Go and you're low HP, and you have heals, but you're not able to get a heal off, just freaking Rift to Go, get out of there, reposition. And, like, if you have any repositioning tools, you do not have to continue with the fight. You can back down and reassess the situation, which I see a lot of people, you know, it's either, you know, ride or die. Like, they have to finish that 1v1 then. Like, honestly, it doesn't hurt to reposition, regather your thoughts, and come up with a different game plan. So there's that. You lose high ground, you 1-by-1, you're in control of all the walls, take shots, learn to get decent at editing, take shots while they're trying to break you and everything. But yeah, that's essentially it. I mean, for me, I really don't get into crazy build battles, but just learn to take shots, like, when you're taking high ground or when someone's trying to take high ground on you. Just, like, there's plenty of opportunities to take shots towards people, and one of the reasons why a lot of people make fun of, like, overbuilders and whatnot is because they're not trying to take shots at all. You want to take as many shots as you can towards your opponents when they're either pushing for high ground or you're pushing for high ground. There's plenty of ways you could do that. Let's say let's say you have like 3 levels of high ground above them and they're trying to 90, right? And you're like okay, let's say you're up there and they're trying to 90. Boom, Exhibit A, you could take shots at me right now. Right here, when I jump up, you could take shots at me. Or I'm coming up here and like I'm doing like this whole crazy edit thing. And yeah, just plenty of ways, plenty of opportunities to take shots. Get better at taking shots towards people. Learn when to time shots. You know, when someone's 90ing, learn how to time, you know, them shooting and them placing their wall like this, right? Just learn how to get better at taking shots. That's, I really can't tell you how to get better at that. It's just something you have to learn in the game sense. Just learn how to take your shots and like when to take the shots, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much my favorite ways to retake high ground. That's pretty much tips when you're turtling. I mean, when you're turtling, like I said, turtling is a really good strategy because, like I said, you're in control of all the walls. You're pretty much protected. But like I said, if they're spraying you too much, you know, a good thing to do is if they're spraying you at this wall, just edit this, boom, and then try to wall replace it a couple more times, and then turn around and edit out really quickly. So that's a good advantage of you being quick with your edits. Is you're just very unpredictable, and more oftentimes than not, if you're decent at editing, you'll win a lot more fights. So if you're kind of, you know, whatever mediocre at editing, you want to get good at it, just practice your editing. Plenty of courses out there. Someone spraying your walls, oh no, what am I going to do? Edit that out, edit out the back, boom, you're home free. So that's that's pretty much like I don't know if that's popular or not. What I see a lot of people do, when I'm playing public matches, a lot of people, when I'm spraying them like that, and like I'm on the other end, a lot of people don't think to freaking just edit out the back and everything like that. They're just scared, they're nervous. So you either edit out the back, you can edit out the front, you know, double edit, whatever. The double edit, a lot of people kind of have grown wise to it. So like what they do is jump up, place a ramp, and then shoot you as you're coming out that way. So if you would like to, hold on. So if you would like to, what I like to do is either edit out the side like this, and then okay, so if you edit out the side and you place a ramp like that, you want to place a ramp over here so they can't take a shot at you while they're sitting over there, right? Or you could edit out the back, or the other side and do the same thing. But basically, you just want to make yourself covered at all times and make yourself a very hard target to miss. Just something you'll have to learn over time. So yeah, there's that. So I mean, that pretty much concludes all the tips I have for you related to building and editing. Just practice those courses, get decent at editing and building. These are just like a couple ways to retake height. You really don't have to learn this, whatever. This is just more or less of a flashy thing, but 90s, very easy to learn. 90s, you literally just like place a wall like that, another wall like this, another wall down, place like that. So it just looks something like this. So wall, for ramp, wall, for ramp, walls, for ramp, walls, for ramp. Triple 90, walls, for ramp. It's just a repeated process. But that's pretty much all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and yeah, I'll catch you later.